Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite makes the process of becoming a published best-selling author as simple as sipping your morning cup of coffee. You can learn more about Authors Unite at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Sasha Krysta with us. She is the founder, CEO, business charisma, and strategist at Lionique London, founder and CEO at Third Eye Tech, and a speaker. So welcome to the show.
Hello.
Pumped to
Good
have
evening,
you.
at least over here in London.
Yes, good evening. And I'm over here in Miami, so good afternoon and good evening. Very excited to have you here, Sasha. It looks like you have a lot going on. We will dive into the first one. The first question I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Well, I was thinking if I should share this or not, because it might sound a little bit depressive from the start. But it is one of the biggest things I learned from in my life. And that was actually my brother's death when I was 19, over 20 years ago. And to be honest, everything kind of falls apart in a situation like that, the family and also my studies at university and so on. But what you can learn from it is that it can hold you back if you don't actually... if you keep punishing yourself and don't let go truly. But also you can survive anything and be successful or not, and it's all your decision. So, there is no excuse for you in life if you want to be successful. If you are not, because it's just your decision to actually grow and get where you want to go. That's really what I learned from it. Doesn't sound very positive, but it actually is. It was at the end for me, and an experience in life is to be learned from my perspective.
No, for sure, and totally. I appreciate you sharing it with us. The next one I have for you, Sasha, is what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
What I believe is that every company should have a very comprehensive strategy in place, because it's worth of its investment. It will save the company a huge amount of money and time in long term, and it really truly accelerates the business. So it's not something to leave out, especially at the beginning, and keep working on, unless obviously you have a lifestyle business and you're happy where you are and you are not looking to grow.
And what's your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
I believe that spending time on fully understanding your vision is very, very important, because you need to learn to communicate it, and that's a very difficult part for most of the people. But if you keep it in your head and people keep guessing, you can't grow the business properly. And make also sure that vision permeates every single part of your business, not just the brand, for example, but all the other parts. It becomes practically the business. So that's, I think, in overall very, very important for business.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Well, my younger self was very fierce, so that doesn't need much help there. But I would probably say trusting my intuition. Trust your intuition. It's correct. It will actually work the way you think and hope it will. So just go for it.
And in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
There are two parts to that. You do need to learn and know who you truly are, not the part what people tell you who you are, but knowing really that what is your self and being very comfortable with it. Because you should really build your life with it in mind, in that way that where you will be really happy And also the second part is to be grateful for you already have, because obviously we want lots of things, but we need very little to be happy. So if you have these two parts in your life, knowing who you are and being very comfortable with it, and being happy with what you already have whilst you are working towards the other parts you would like to have in your life, that's all what you need to be happy.
Mm. And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Well, I actually read tons of books and I keep reading them. So I wouldn't really pick one because each of the topics are very different. I would instead say that what I learned is that you should read a lot and keep picking books that are right for you at the time. So you keep learning. That's the most important part. You will always learn something very important from each of the books.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
That would be Jeff Bezos saying it's not an experiment if you know it's going to work. And that is because business has to experiment and innovate all the time. It's not enough to have one innovation at the beginning that will not last forever. You will die if you don't keep innovating and experimenting. So that's why it's a big thing for me in the business to keep innovating, keep experimenting, give space to people to do so within the business as well. Failure is part of the process and it's allowed. And if you allow that not only to yourself, but also the people in the business, you will grow a business which will be strong for very, very long time, pretty much forever.
I love it.
It's very difficult to do so.
No, you're so right. And I really appreciate you coming on. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
I think the best thing apart from the website would be LinkedIn. Anyone who would be interested to have a conversation with me, they can invite me to connect, and I'll be happy to accept and have a chat.
Perfect. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for your time as well, and have a lovely day.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.